The sixth habit is invisible fees. Bank fees, late interest charges, ATM fees, account maintenance, unnecessary packages. Many people pay these fees monthly simply because they don't know there are free alternatives. Others pay interest just because they forgot a due date. Review your bills, talk to your bank, and see if you can switch to free options. Automate payments to avoid penalties. And if your bank charges too much, switch. And the seventh and final villain is the famous daily snack. Coffee out, snacks at work, desserts from the bakery, fresh juice in the afternoon. Small things that turn into habits. $3 a day might seem like nothing, but in 30 days, that's $90. In 1 year, over $1,000. That doesn't mean cutting everything and living miserably, but rather identifying patterns. Taking snacks from home just 3 days a week can completely shift your financial picture without killing your joy. Now that you know these 7 habits, do the math. How many of these do you repeat every month? If you eliminate just 2, you could save over $200 in 30 days. That's not an exaggeration. It's basic math. And that money can go toward your emergency fund, your first investment, or simply give you peace at the end of the month. It's not about cutting everything or living with guilt. It's about making smarter choices. What you need now is a plan. And the first step is to track your expenses for 7 days. Every single one, even that tiny coffee. Then categorize what's essential, what's recurring, and what's unnecessary. Just by doing this, your perception will shift. You'll begin to notice patterns that were previously invisible, and that's where real change starts. If you've made it this far, it means you're committed to transforming your finances. So here's a challenge. Pick 3 of these habits to reduce or eliminate this month, and apply the strategies. Compare the results. Then come back and let me know in the comments how much you saved. I want to hear from you. And if this content helped you, share it with someone else who's struggling financially. Together, we go further. See you in the next video. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try to save, your money just disappears? You cut back on leisure spending, skip weekend outings, try to avoid impulse buys, and yet your budget is always on the edge? If that sounds familiar, this video is for you. Because maybe the problem isn't with the extras you've already cut, but with the small recurring habits that seem harmless and are quietly destroying your financial control. Today, you're going to discover the 7 everyday expenses that drain your money each month without you even noticing. And more importantly, how to manage them simply and practically without giving up what truly matters. Stay until the end, because one of these tips could completely change your financial future. The truth is, most people focus on cutting what brings them immediate pleasure. That weekend pizza, a movie night, or even a streaming subscription. But the real villain in your budget isn't there. It lies in the expenses that repeat every month, that seem small and harmless, but when added up, create a silent hole in your pocket. These are almost automatic habits that go unnoticed in your routine precisely because they've become normal. And the most dangerous part? By not noticing these leaks, you keep making efforts where you don't need to, and fail to act where it truly matters. Let's now reveal these small enemies of your financial freedom. The first one is forgotten subscriptions. How many services are you currently paying for that you barely remember? It could be a photo editing app, a meditation platform, a digital magazine, or even streaming services you rarely use. $2, $4, $6 a month. Sounds like nothing, but when you add up all these invisible charges, it can exceed $30 per month. Multiply that by 12 months and you've got nearly $400 draining from your budget every year. The solution? Do a full sweep of your credit card statement. Cancel everything you don't actively use. This is the invisible cleanup your wallet needs. The second habit is the infamous food delivery. We're not just talking about the price of the food, but the service fees, automatic tips, and the convenience that leads to mindless spending. A meal that could cost $8 ends up being $13 or more with fees. And because it's so easy to tap an order, it happens several times a week. Instead of cutting it out completely, try limiting your orders per month or cook at home 1 more day per week. The savings are real, and you'll feel it by month's end. The third hidden expense is those small monthly installment payments. One in 3 installments, another in 5, another in 10. Separately, they feel light. Together, they become a snowball of debt eating up your income. The big issue is that you lose track of how much you've already committed, giving a false sense that you can still spend more. Practical solution: write down all future installments in a spreadsheet or finance app. Seeing the total amount already committed will stop you from falling into this trap. The fourth habit comes from the supermarket or pharmacy: impulse buys. You go in for bread and come out with energy drinks, chocolate, a new toothbrush, a magazine, and more. These extras add $5 to $10 per visit. If you do this 3 times a week, that's over $80 a month going to things you didn't plan for. The tip here is simple: shop with a list. And if possible, use cash or a prepaid card with a spending limit. That helps keep your focus on the essentials. The fifth silent leak is ride-hailing apps. When used frequently for short trips that could be done on foot, by public transit, or by sharing rides, they become a financial pit. Sometimes it's $2 here, $4 there, and at the end of the month, you've spent over $60 just on rides. Be honest with yourself. How many of those trips are truly necessary? A 15-minute walk or bus ride could save money and even boost your health.